All right, hello everyone. It is 8 o'clock. We're gonna try and keep the train moving very smoothly and on time here tonight. So we are going to get underway. Yes.
That was my train.
Exactly. All right. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show here. Very excited for this event. I'll try to keep my introduction short because I think we all want to just get right to the music and just hear some fantastic music tonight. So, we have a very special guest coming right to us virtually from New York City, Adam Smale. Um, I can tell you all about his amazing accomplishments and all the cool people he's played with and all the cool places he's played at. But rather than that, I'll just kind of just tell you a quick personal story. Um, I actually first met Adam when I was a student at a workshop, a Guitar Workshop Plus is a really fantastic workshop in Toronto. So I don't want to be dating myself and Adam here, but this was probably like 17 years ago or something.
Really that long? Wow.
I think so. I was a student in high school, and it was I think the first time I had attended, and Adam was a faculty member, and I saw him play, and I just remember being blown away. And then I think we got to reconnect just actually a few years ago. I've also been teaching for Guitar Workshop Plus now, and we ended up teaching at the same campus in Toronto. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and we ended up connecting again. And yeah, so it was just kind of interesting to meet him as from the teacher side. Also, it was cool, and he I saw him play again that worked that summer a few years ago and still blew me away. So thought it'd be really important to share to my students, but also people out there for what Adam's doing and all the amazing stuff he's doing. So a really real pleasure to have him here. He's going to be playing some music for us. Also, for the people that are tuning in through Zoom, I'm going to be keeping the chat open. And so, in between Adam's selections, we're going to have kind of an informal question and answer. I think I'll start it off after he plays the first tune. But if any of you wants to comment, if you want to throw in a thunderous applause in the chat or whatever, or if you have questions, you can just throw it there, and I'll try to kind of keep tabs on that and kind of keep things going. So without further ado, I think we all want to hear some music, Adam. So please take it away.
Okay, well, I under the circumstances, I can't have musicians over to play with me, and I'm not necessarily really a solo guitar player, although I may play one or two songs solo. I haven't decided yet, but so unfortunately, I have a virtual band that's kind of backing me up. So you'll hear like a kind of annoying count in every time I hit play. But anyway, this first song that I'm going to play for you is called Almost Like Being in Love.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
Give it up for the band.
All right, very cool, very cool. I guess we can. Why don't we start with just a general question? Just if you could just give us a background, quick background of where you're from, and how you got to where you are, and actually probably most importantly, like how did you get to jazz, and what's your journey been like with the guitar?
Well, the short answer is I've gotten to where I am by stabbing people in the back. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I let's see. Let's start with because that was kind of like a three-part question there. I grew up near Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, Ontario, Canada, and I actually started playing guitar when I was 7, and I just kind of did the usual thing that probably a lot of people did, which was learn from like Mel Bay books and stuff like that. I took private lessons, and then right around the age of 9 or 10, I started getting more and more into guitar, and then I started learning songs on my own from my dad's record collection, and then at the age of 11, I decided that's it. I made up my mind. I'm going to be a professional guitar player. And unbeknownst to me, all of a sudden, an opportunity came my way at 12 years old, and I joined the Musicians Union, and basically I've been gigging ever since.
Wow.
And I started off
And
with,
sorry to interrupt, but so that you
yeah,
joined the Musicians Union in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
that is correct.
Wow. I think most people probably aren't familiar, but I've actually been there myself because it's
Okay.
actually a bit of a tourist attraction in that area, isn't it?
Um, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Or a bit of like a vacation area, rather. I don't know if it's a tour, like, um, yeah.
yeah, I guess. I mean, if you want to chill out and there's not much to do, that's a perfect place.
So what kind of gigs were you playing back then?
All country, like
Oh
country and
wow.
sort of a little bit of bluegrass, but mostly like country and western. And like the band leader said, there's only two types of music that's any good: country and western. Yeah. So,
Very
but
nice.
however, I digress.
Well, how did you get to jazz from country and western?
Good question. Well, this is kind of a hope I'm not boring anybody, but um, right around the age of 16 or so, even though he would happened before this, I got turned on to Edward Van Halen, who just about a month and a half ago passed away.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, he was probably he would be like my second guitar hero. Chet Atkins was probably my first guitar hero, which is maybe the reason why I returned to this thing on my finger. But maybe we'll get back to that in another later time. But at age 16, I wasn't using a thumb pick. I was using just a regular pick, and I dived in deep to the Van Halen world, and he mentioned in, I think, an article in a guitar magazine mentioned Alan Holdsworth. And I don't know if many of you may or may not know who Alan Holdsworth is, but was amazing, I guess you could say, jazz fusion, but as far as I'm concerned, he's in a category all himself.
Yeah, he's kind of on his own planet.
Right, yeah. And so he was like talking about how he really dug this Alan Holdsworth guy. So I'm like, well, if Eddie Van Halen likes him, I better check it out. And I remember getting the cassette tape. I'm not dating myself at all here. Put it in the thing, and my jaw dropped on the floor, and I went, "Oh my God, what is this?" Like, there's way more to music than I ever thought. If that's what's happening on the tape. So eventually, I just enrolled into college to study jazz because I wanted to figure out what Alan Holdsworth is doing. To this day, I still don't know what Alan Holdsworth is doing. Well, I have a little idea, but
You have to travel to his planet, which is that's not easy.
yeah, Xenon is far away.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. Well, I guess on that note, maybe we can hear a little more jazz, and we can continue our little Q&A here after another tune.
Sure. I'm going to play a song of mine. It's called Blues to Use, and use is spelt as in use guys over here.
All right. Cool tune, man. Very cool
Thanks.
tune. Yeah, yeah. Actually, a question came in. I think that that would be very nice and appropriate. How did you write the song, and where did the inspiration come from? Tell us a little more about the tune.
Um, well, actually, I wrote it in university. I went back to school about 13 years ago to do a master's degree. I went to Western Michigan University, and I wrote the song there. Actually, it was part of the composition class, and then I got several good songs out of that composition class. And one of the assignment actually was to write a really simple blues melody over the head or over the blues chord changes, and basically that's what I did. But I just put a little bit of twist on it with a slightly different turnaround at the end.
Yeah, very cool.
And if you do want to know what the chords are, I can tell you if you wanted to know.
Well, we could probably save that for the workshop
Yeah.
afterwards. So I have a fun question for you.
Okay.
Um, uh,
How fun is it?
well, tell us about uh, the coolest gig you've done, and then follow it up with the worst gig you've ever done, like Spinal Tap level of
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe it or not, it was the same tour. It
Oh,
was
even
like
better.
it went
Even
from this
better.
to like way down here.
Even better.
Yeah. So as you know, I do have a country background, and even though I was playing mostly jazz in Toronto, I got hired to do a country tour, and I guess the high point was opening up for Johnny Cash,
Oh,
which
wow.
was kind of bizarre because I remember going to see him when I was just a little kid and looking way up on stage, like, wow, there's the man in black himself. And then here I am. I think we're not the band right before him, but I think we were like two bands before him. So there was another band I think that went on before him, and it was at a huge music festival in British Columbia.
Hmm.
And you look out into the audience, and all you see is people for like on and on and on and on and on. I heard that there was reports of something like 500,000 people there that weekend or
Wow.
something. Like it's a huge music festival. Then, so that was really cool, and it was I would have to say that's probably the biggest crowd that I've ever played for. I did have
Wow.
another event in Toronto opening up for a Latin star that I cannot think of his name right now, but that was kind of cool too. But to go back to my story, because it was on the same tour, is that the singer that we were backing the tour up with, that hired us, she uh, tried to walk up to the van as the bass player was backing the van up, and she got
Uh-oh.
sandwiched in between a flatbed trailer and the van, and
Oh no.
actually broke her rib cage. Like, she busted some bones, cracked some bones, and I have to say she was. I thought like she just took off running. Kind of like if an animal gets hit by a car or something, they kind of freak out. She just ran, and I thought, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I think the tour is done.
Oh
But
no.
like a trooper, she actually sang for the whole rest of the tour,
Oh wow.
and there was like another month of a tour or something to go, or 3 weeks or something, and it was crazy. But so that's my crazy Spinal Tap story. The bass player squished our boss between a van
That's
and it wasn't good because every time she would take a breath in to sing, as you know, a singer has to breathe. She would be in pain the whole night trying to sing.
so did the bass player get fired?
No, oddly enough,
Oh wow.
no. And by the way, my doctor said that a glass of wine a day is okay, so I went for the biggest glass I have.
There we go.
I'm just
Medicine.
kidding. This is not wine. This is just a drink that I make that has grape juice in it. But just in case you're wondering, it's not wine.
All right. Well, the nice thing about these Zoom events, I guess, you can't get run over by like a bus or a truck like in the middle of your living room
No,
usually. So you won't get no musicians will get hurt in this gig.
no, just myself maybe.
Yeah. Well, on that note, should
Mm-hmm.
we hear another tune?
Sure. I think I'll play. Yeah, I'll play. I I never get tired of playing this song. It's called Stella by Starlight.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just as that, it certainly is a beautiful tune.
There's one thing about doing these online events. I'm like since 12 years old of playing live gigs. There's nobody
It's yeah, I
clapping
know,
for
right?
you. There's no feedback. It's like, did I suck? Did it
that
sound good?
that is definitely the one like very strange thing about this world we live in now.
Right. Yeah. But
It's almost like
unfortunately,
you.
I'm not the only one. Everybody's in the same boat. So.
Yeah, exactly. We should have set you up with like like imaginary fans in your living room,
Right.
like
Yeah. Like
cutouts of people.
what is it? One of the talk shows has paper cutouts, and I think is it uh, Conan maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, before we continue, actually, I'm gonna share these links because if I don't do them right now, I'll probably forget. Just for everyone in the chat, I threw up three links in there. Um, yeah. So one is for Adam's YouTube channel. He's got some really amazing videos about jazz and guitar, and you should definitely go check it out if you're into that kind of thing, and give him a subscribe if you want to support him. The second link is the new approach to scales.com. That's a book that Adam wrote. If you're serious about guitar and learning the guitar and learning scales on guitar, I think that's the book for you, so go check that out. um, I believe Adam said he'll give you a nice little discount, and let me see here. Yeah, so just you can ask us if you'd like to take advantage of that, and then also his the third link is his main website, I believe, and where you can get some of his music. You can buy his CD. He will sign it for you and send it off to you if you use the code. NOV19 at the checkout here. I'll put that in there.
which is today's date, of course.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think I it's like what 17% off or something like that. But anyway,
Yeah.
discount on that, and then
Here, I'll put that.
the or at least maybe the book is at 17% discount. But um, as far as the book is concerned, just email me when you buy it because I'll have to give you a discount manually. I'll just refund you like $3. I think it works out to if you buy the book. The CD you can enter the code and get cheaper price. But
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, I put that. He can sign it for you and send it off to you if you use that code at the checkout. Okay. All right. Well, very cool. So, some of those out there tuning in probably saw that Adam has a bit of an unusual guitar.
what me?
Uh, he's got some extra stuff happening there.
I've
Can
got
you
an
tell
extra
us? Yeah,
string. Yeah, if you notice, I got 7 machine heads. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
it's just for show, right?
Yeah, totally. But I'm nuts like that. So, it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
tell us a little more about your guitar.
the. I designed this guitar actually, and then I had someone build it for me in Toronto.
Oh,
Probably around the time that you probably were a student at the guitar workshop.
yeah.
Um, but and if anyone's wondering why I'm looking off to the side, because Sung is off to this side of me, and my camera's like a 45-degree angle off. But I'm trying to look at the camera as much as I can. But every once in a while, I keep forgetting and looking at the computer. But um, it I got inspired by one of my another guitar hero of mine that came much later after Eddie Van Halen is Lenny Bro, and I strongly suggest that any guitar player, especially jazz guitar player or any guitar player, check out Lenny Bro. And what he did is he came up with a 7-string tuning that is basically a standard guitar tuning on that's just a low E string, and it goes E, A, D, G, B, E, and then what appears to be my first string is actually a high A string. So it's like the same A as if you play an A at the 5th fret on your first string. That's actually my 7th string. I don't consider that my first string. I consider that my 7th string.
Hmm.
So I guess I don't know if you can see clearly or not, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then all the way over here is the 7th string.
So it's not like the usual, like the heavy metal throwdown, like like low extra seventh string.
Yeah, and it's not like George Van Epps was a 7-string jazz player, and he had his tuned
Right,
down to a low B, sometimes an A.
right.
Whereas like the Steve Vai type of guitar or whatever, usually it's a low B.
Uh huh.
But I don't want to be a bass player. I'll let the bass player take care of that. So I don't like the guitar kind of steps down into the bass range anyway. So the main reason why that I have that extra string is just to facilitate playing lines and play a chord at the same time. So now, if I was to hold down a chord, I have an extra string just to get a few extra notes. Or if I was playing a regular 6-string guitar, I would literally only have maybe 2 strings to play a line on or the
Yeah,
melody. So it just expands my range without having to go up further up the neck.
that's very cool. So it's really the main, I think, idea is to extend your range, uh, in the upper register, really.
Right. And
Yeah,
not in a gimmicky way, just for a very practical way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think with that in mind, it would be interesting to hear, uh, you know, uh, your life in New York City and the musician life in New York City, and what are some important lessons you've learned? Because I think there's a lot of students tuning in here, just
Hmm.
students. I think not just guitarists, but I think music students. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear your take on the scene in New York City. Like lots has changed, and obviously even just this year, it's like completely has changed, and who knows where that's going to be
Yeah, right now
headed.
there is no scene.
Yeah,
Um,
uh, yeah. So It'd be interesting to hear your take on, like, well, could you maybe tell us how long you've been there, and and yeah, what it's been like for you.
I've been living in New York now for, I guess, just a little over 11 years, which I can't believe it's that been that long. But moved here after I got done doing my master's degree in Michigan, and then uh, what I guess maybe ask me something specific, like what if there's something
Uh,
that somebody
like
wants
let's
to know
say
about.
like if there's a student there and they wanna move to New York City and make it, or or play jazz, but that's
Right.
also kind of maybe now is a weird time to ask it because of
Yeah, well,
COVID.
maybe
But
maybe in 2027 would be a good time to move here.
yeah.
um,
Well, maybe instead of like maybe tell us like your journey of moving to New York City
well,
and
what I would do if you are planning on moving here is come visit first a few times, maybe more than just a few. And when you do decide to move, make sure you have some place to stay. Even if it's you, hopefully you know somebody. I didn't know anybody when I moved to New York, so that would be good. And bring lots of money. You can burn through money really fast in New York, especially if you don't know what you're doing. And there's like lots of stories of people getting ripped off, paying first and last month's rent for a place or something, and then the person absconds with the money or whatever, and stuff
hmm
like that. So just it helps if you know somebody, or you can know enough people that you can ask around and see if anybody is looking for a roommate, stuff like that, to help save money. Um, and
So
then
it's
the other
like
thing I would say, what's that?
sorry, I was gonna say it's like make sure there's water in the pool before you jump into the deep end.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do like what I did, because I just dived in. Um, but I managed to get a teaching gig that helped out pay the bills, and actually, even before the teaching gig, I actually got a gig transcribing.
Oh, cool.
Kind of fresh out of college. It was for a now defunct website, but they sold transcriptions online, and then what we had to do as transcribers, transcribe it, and then we had to play it on video camera and record ourselves playing it. Sometimes you had to milli vanilli it,
hmm
play the parts over again, and then the parts would be posted on YouTube, and so people could learn the tablature and then watch your fingers and slow it down if they needed to or whatever.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's an ever-changing landscape. I think, interestingly, New York City has always been changing, anyways. But obviously, I think that with this year, things are going to be very different. It'll be interesting to see how obviously things pan out. But uh,
Yeah, like any smart advice, I would say diversify your income. Don't just rely on gigs only, because I have many friends right now who weren't teaching or anything like that, like I was on the side, uh, uh, as well as doing gigs, and they are in trouble right now. They don't have anything to do. There's,
hmm
you know what I mean? So other than any government assistance, there's not much that they're getting for income at this point.
hmm yeah, it's definitely a tough situation for a lot of people out there. So,
Yeah.
well, on that note, it kind of maybe kind of went south here, our conversation, but maybe you can cheer us up with some music to wrap it up. So, I think we got time to just do one more tune.
Okay.
And those of you sticking around for the workshop, there is a separate Zoom link. I think most of you are aware, but I'll put the Zoom link in the chat here, just in case you need it.
And if you
Um,
do have any questions, you can totally ask me during that.
Yeah, so yeah, there will
I'm
be more
Yeah.
questions. Actually, there were some good questions here that I think that we can definitely um, move it over to the workshops.